been noticing how I try to intentionally relax my face, which I think is a good impulse because it feels healthy and like I'm treating the body well. But something I'm noticing also is how I do it as a means to get something that I'm calling now Zen face, which is it's Zen stink expressed facially, and I'm relating it to this because it comes up in moments where I can feel, now that I'm looking into it, there's a subtle sense of superiority still, or like spiritual superiority, in a situation when I'm trying not to react to something, which in that case is just repression. When I say something, not to react to a person I'm talking to, and then trying to not have the reaction, not the facial expression, not the reactions I usually would, and just drop into what little me thinks is Zen face. And it's funny because I experience actual expression of just, there is something that it's not something that can just be recognized, but it can be felt. It can look every way, because when when the body is dissolved into the truth of connection, it doesn't matter what it's doing. It's just in connection. And I definitely am experiencing these moments that little me then notices after the fact, and then changes and gets out of that zone by trying to do something. So because there's a bit of a contradiction. Little me doesn't think and doesn't understand, because she can't by nature understand, that true Zen face is every face, is everything. It doesn't matter at all. But she has this idea, obviously, of someone meditating, having a serene, calm, reserved expression that probably also makes her feel inferior, because she thinks she's being all hectic and everything. So then her idea of a spiritual master or someone enlightened is this serenity. And that doesn't mean that enlightened people are not serene, and are not maybe on average, or just in general on a baseline more serene than others. But it comes from something completely different. It's not something that can be retroactively induced through the face. So I'm noticing, little me notices, catches the body having been in a state of much more dissolution and openness and connection with the world. And then there's a bit of a moment where, now that I'm really zooming into it, I guess she's kind of like, oh, that doesn't make sense. Why was that actual piece when there was tension in the muscle, or where there was something I can't place? So then she tries to relax the face intentionally to get back there, because she does know that this was beyond pleasant. It was, even she can sense that it had a perfection to it. So she does desire to get there. The only thing is that she cannot wrap her mind around the fact that she cannot do nothing to get there. She's categorically, intrinsically incapable of achieving or planning or plotting or instigating or inducing or inciting anything on that plane. Which it's quite sweet in a way, because she's just really trying, She really wants it, but she doesn't get it. She can't. So it definitely feels more like a more wholesome and calm reaction for me to not belittle her as I would have. Not as much. I'm not speaking in absolutes. There are subtle levels everywhere, very deep ones, which I will continue to learn about. But just in general, that I'm not definitely at least as hateful as I certainly have been with her. Because when I'm laughing, the laugh just now, it wasn't a mean laugh. I'm not laughing at her. I like her. And I'm not trying to destroy her. And it's reminding me of something Ram Dass said that I really like, that I may have mentioned before, about how someone enlightened, in this sense, again, I don't know if he uses this word, but how someone awake, aware, is ready to be with anyone on the level that they're at and the state they're in, but with the added openness to, oh, if you want to come to this other dimension and play, I'm here as well. It's an option if you want to do it. But I'm not pressuring you. We can be wherever you're comfortable. Because I actually don't mind being in this state. Because as soon as you're minding it, it's again, you're trying something, your ego is doing stuff, you're having opinions about stuff, you're pushing and pulling, contracting around notions of things, a place, a state of mind, a state of body being wrong or right, inferior, superior. And in a way, I just experienced that with myself, not with another person that I can be spiritually feeling superior to, but that it's my own little me that I'm learning to accept being on a plane with. I'm not always on this other plane. I'm not always available to it. It is not always available to me. Well, I mean, it is by nature not available to little me, but it's not always possible to be there. And a lot about this entire process is really about forgiveness. I couldn't have imagined how constantly, unwaveringly, intensely mean I was to myself all the time. I'm still finding these things everywhere, but it's very different. A lot of these things have changed. And this is a classic thing that I could not have forgiven myself. Having a task, wanting to achieve, wanting to learn, being definitely prepared to suffer through study and research and this kind of thing. That's something that I'm used to and that I'm capable of. But this relaxing into being just forgiving of oneself and not minding one's own faults, or what you're calling faults from this position, and not being hateful toward inexactitude, a little bit of sloppiness, forgetfulness, not being punctual, all these kinds of things in my rigid frame from before were just utterly unacceptable. And more and more they seem to be